Hi, my name is Matthew Jor, and today I'm going to be presenting not just my map on Latin American populations, or rather the populations across the couple of countries that I've reviewed, but primarily the services and functions of the ArcGIS Story Maps. Now, contrary to what you may believe, using this map, it doesn't have the popular functions of other basic ArcGIS mapping systems. This system in particular is much more so focused on the presentation of data and facts as gathered by the creator. So in this example, you see it presents the basic information. It presents the name as seen here, a brief overview, whatever you want to put there and whatever that may mean to you. And then additionally, it goes over the basics of the creator and the date that it was released. Now, with all of that basic stuff out of the way, I want to briefly look over what exactly sets this apart from other ArcGIS maps. I mentioned earlier that it lacks some of the functions of other GIS systems. And this is due to the fact that, as I said earlier, it's more so based on the presentation of data. So you're not going to see the mapping tool, you're not going to see it have the measuring tool, you're not going to be able to enter the places that you want to look at, you're not going to be able to do things like this. Instead, if you're looking for particular places within a pre-made story map, you're going to be looking over either the brief area, or in and of itself, you're going to be looking over the areas that have already been mapped out for the story map, as this is the ArcGIS story map. Now, what services all in all do come with the story map? When you're looking at this, you can edit your story. Now, from the point of view of the person doing this, it's not that complex. As you're about to see here, you can go through, and at this point, you can add a cover image, you can change the name, change the overview, all that stuff. You can add in more points, and you can change the panel size, do all of these sorts of things. But primarily, when you're editing it, it is entirely just choosing the order of the slides, adding new slides, adding data, and giving new importance to various points, or taking importance away from these points. It also tells you if it's published. You can go back and forth, redo, undo. It'll inform you if it's saved, and it'll allow for you to go through the various stages that you need in order to prepare it for publication. And as seen here, I will go ahead and just republish it. And as seen there, that's just confirming the information. That's allowing for you to, again, real quick before you publish it, just go through, change name, overview, yada yada yada. Now, you understand that's not complex. Outside of that, though, it's not complex in general. You see that it has share, you can favorite it, and this is from the point of view of anyone using it. Not necessarily me as the publisher of this map in particular. Now, as briefly covered before, this map does not have common utilizations that other maps may have. You can obviously zoom out, and at this point you can view the whole world from small scale in order to understand it, and you're not going to see it act as a choroplethysmic map. You're not going to see it act as anything fancy, though I believe you can assign it as such when you are creating the map. Entirely from a viewing point of view, however, you're not going to see that, and when you're viewing it as a small scale map that is as zoomed out as it can be, it won't even label anything. It's giving you the entire overview as simply as it can. However, as you continue to zoom in, it will go over the basic countries and some of the prominent areas. So like here, looking at the United States, you can see it's not entirely zoomed in, but you can already see a lot of the states, though not all of them. And as you continue to zoom in, it shows you more and more detail, just as it would on any other map, simply enough. However, as you continue to zoom in, it will show you the specific borders of the various countries that you're viewing. Not only this, but it will seem to show you river systems, major roads, and things like this. However, again, very important to note, the base map used here on this map will not allow for someone to view anything major or complex. You will not be able to view it from a topographic scale. You won't be able to view it from these things, at least by the original base map used and offered by the ArcGIS Story Map. I apologize for all the coughing. So, that being said, what all is the major purpose? You can't view it in a specific base map, at least originally. You can't view it in a unique base map. You can't really zoom out to see the countries as far as it does zoom out. But as I'd specified earlier, the usefulness of this map is not in the topographic, isobaric, theometric data. It's not anything like that. It is the graphing of various points as done by the creator, and as explained by the creator and presented by the creator. That is entirely what this is for. It's for the presentation of data and explaining stories across wherever you're doing. Now, in this specific example, as you may have guessed by the title here, I was viewing a series of Latin American populations. Now, this in and of itself was simple. I didn't cover all of them, I just covered 5. And across all of these, as you can see here, I was able to include a picture, a title for each section, and then I was also able to break up each section into their own explanations. And I was able to gather data to assume things that affected the GNI triple P of those countries. And I was able to look through all these different things, and you are given unlimited space to work through this. Now, one of the best functions of this is that A, it doesn't limit you to any of these points to measure. You can, if I wanted to, I could look across every single country in Latin America and South America and Central America and all of these places, and I could label all of them. I could make points for each and every one of them, and I could run through, and the map would let me. And you could use as much detail as you wanted to. It doesn't have a text limit. Now, sorry, back to one of the best points. I got on a little bit of a sidetrack there. Onto one of the best points, and then we will be wrapping this up, is that there is an autoplay option to allow for it to play back for either you as the reader to look through while you're examining the differences in the locations of the map, or for a presenter to run through while he is quite possibly explaining this to a group, audience, or crowd. And it's playing, obviously it can pause simply enough. If you want to stop and read here, I want to look at the natural resources of, oh goodness, what is this? Of Mexico. I can. But then also, if you want it to go faster, you can. If this better suits your reading style, then it can do that. You can keep replaying this as many times as you want, and it will continue to run through it. And my favorite part is that it moves through all of these various points while you do so. And while you're reading this or explaining all of it, you can repeat it as many times as you want. You can bring it down to half speed if you need it to be slower, back to 1 time speed and twice speed. It doesn't have a lot of variety, given that those are the only options, but with that being said, it's simple. It allows for clear and concise presentation, or rather, as clear and as concise presentation as the creator wants to provide. And it is easy to use, easy to understand, and easy to access. Now, with that being said, thank you for your time. This is Matthew Jor with ArcGIS Story Maps.